Hi everybody, I'm back for my next video. As you can see, I finally convinced my husband to join me in a video. I wanted to bring him in to let everybody know and kind of get an insight on his point of view about not only dating somebody with Tourette Syndrome, but also being married to somebody with Tourette Syndrome. I want to let everybody know that worries about their love lives and worries about meeting somebody that can deal with what Tourette Syndrome can bring into a relationship, that it is possible and there are good people out there. This is my husband, Scott, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with asking him a few questions so that you guys can hear his point of view of things in our relationship. What was your first thoughts when I first told you that I had Tourette Syndrome when we met?
I think it was more surprise than anything. It's not something I really ever heard before other than on TV and movies, things like that. Didn't really know much about it, so I didn't have a whole lot to say. It was kind of a learning experience right from the start.
Alright, do you think that because I told you about my Tourette Syndrome from the very first day that we met, do you think that was helpful, or do you think that made you more nervous about being with me?
I think it was helpful. I think that's something that would have almost been a little more strange to deal with if it would have came up later on. I like the fact that you're very open and honest about it right away. I mean, I think it was good for us too that it happened that way.
How do you feel about me taking in public? Has it ever embarrassed you, or does it ever make you nervous about somebody possibly saying something?
I wouldn't say it embarrasses me. Of course I worry about people saying things. You know, I know there's going to be that point in time where someone says something or makes a comment, you know, or doesn't really act the right way about it. I fully expect that to happen somehow. In 7 years it really hasn't. I'm not a confrontational person. I would not have a problem confronting someone about something like that. You know, so of course I'm never looking forward to that day, but I'm sure it'll happen at some point. But no, I would never be embarrassed about it.
Did you know about Tourette Syndrome before you started dating me?
Not really. Like I said, other than what you hear, you know, over the years throughout TV shows and movies and things like that, which is, of course, the stereotypes now, which it's almost a battle. You try to educate people based off of those because it's not really as accurate as you would hope it would be. I didn't know anything in depth about it at all.
How does it make you feel when I have a really bad day and I'm taking a lot and I can't stop?
It makes me feel terrible. I hate, that's the worst part about it for me, is that there's not more that I can do. I know there's small things that can help a little bit, but it's just a temporary relief and not something that is ever going to stop it. All I can really do is try to make you feel comfortable, if that's even possible. But I hate those days. I mean, it brings me down too, because you know there's nothing worse than coming home and seeing you drained after a day like that.
Does it scare you?
Doesn't really scare me. Like I said, it bums me out. A couple years ago, you were having a little more intense, almost panic attacks, and you were having trouble breathing and things like that. At times, that scared me. I was getting very concerned around that point. Luckily, that didn't last too long, and you haven't had that happen in a while.
I was on a different medication.
I mean, that absolutely scared me. But otherwise, like I said, it's not a good feeling when you can't really do much to help out.
Does it scare you that I might give Tourette Syndrome to our kids, like it does me?
It doesn't scare me. Of course, we're both going to be a little nervous about that. I have full faith that if it happens, it'll be handled the right way, and they'll have the right person to look up to and teach them about everything and make sure they handle it the right way as well. So no, I'm not scared about it. I know it would all be okay. Everything happens for a reason, and we can handle it.
Do you think that it's ever going to be too much for you, or have you ever thought that when we first started dating?
No.
Are you you sure?
No. If I would have had any doubts about that, considering you told me the first day we met, I don't think we'd be here. I don't think this would be happening right now.
What are your thoughts about Tourette Syndrome now that you've had experience with it for 7 years?
I definitely have a different outlook on it. Excuse me, I try to educate people the same way you do if they don't know about it. I talk to people at work about it. I tell people, that you have it and share our experiences a little bit. And, I feel like I have a lot more knowledge about it and that I fully understand it. And it makes me realize that I probably, wasn't really acting the right way about it throughout the years that you just hear about it and, hear people make fun of it and what it's all about. So I have a whole new perspective on it, and it's just gotten even deeper over the years as I learn more about it and about you and the experiences you've gone through.
Do you think that it causes strife in our relationship, or do you think it makes it better?
I would say it's made us stronger. I think that's so much of your personality, so much of your strength that you have is from it. So I think you would be a different person without it. And it, teaches me to keep caring for you and doing the little things for you that make you feel more comfortable, and so much of what we base our relationship on. Not that I ever think your bad days help us out, but it just kind of, I think, keeps us in check and makes sure that we're still in it for the right reasons and that our relationship keeps getting stronger.
What would your advice be to somebody else that is dating somebody with Tourette Syndrome, or even just around somebody with Tourette Syndrome?
Learn about it, take it in, learn everything about their experiences, and try to understand as much as you can what they're going through. Of course, that's not easy. I never know, and I never will know exactly what you go through and, how those hard days are, but, try to put yourself in their position and, just try to make them feel as comfortable as possible, or like it's not, like nothing's really happening. I mean, you don't want to bring too much attention to it and make them feel self-conscious. I mean, there's a lot of days where we're walking around and you're ticking and, having a hard time with it, and you just keep going and keep moving and, do little comforting things like put my arm around you or rub your back a little bit or whatever it might be, and just, don't bring out all the attention about it. Just, don't let it affect your relationship and the way you are. Just, like I said, keep doing those little things.
All right, I think that's my last question, so you can breathe a little bit now.
I do exist. I guess she had like a concern about that you guys didn't think I existed, so I am here.
If you would like to actually read my blog, I actually wrote a blog based on some of these questions with his answers in them as well. Feel free to visit my blog, or as I've always said, find me on Twitter or email me directly with any questions you might have about my life, or even how my husband and I handle our relationship with the added stress of Tourette Syndrome. I hope you enjoyed meeting my husband. This will probably be the last time he ever does a video with me. If there's any other questions, please feel free to email me or get in contact with me. And until next time, thanks for watching.